Where was I on 9/11? I was in my living room. I had finished my breakfast, and I was watching the Today Show like I usually do. And I was just getting ready to bring my plate in to the kitchen when they had news story about a plane crashing into the World Trade Center. And I was horrified. I thought, oh God, those poor people. Oh my God, those poor people. So I started watching that instead of getting ready for work. And then live, or somewhat live, they had the second plane footage crashing into the other tower. And at that point, that is the point where I started screaming at my TV. I was screaming over and over, what are they doing? 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 Because I knew what they were doing. One plane is an accident, a second plane is not. So I get in the shower. I'm crying in the shower. I'm crying getting ready for work. The dog doesn't know what the hell is wrong with me. She's looking at me like, that's when I still had Abby. She's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? I'm going, never mind, never mind. She got in her cage, and I gave her treats, and I said, I hope you're still here when I get home. So I left, and I left for work, and I turned on the radio, because I never do that. This time I did, so I could hear about the first tower falling. And I get to work, and it's deadly quiet. And we've gone into the mode of trying to contact our East Coast, New York, New Jersey customers to see if they're okay and to remind them that we can help them with data recovery if they need it and to make sure they have their backups. We were too late for some of them. We were too late for some of our customers. Their data backup was fine, but they were not. They were gone. We continued trying to contact our customers, and we were listening to the radio at work, and so we heard the second tower fall, and we heard about the Pentagon, and we heard about Pennsylvania. And by that time, we got this email that they were going to close the office at 11:30, and they really wanted us to get out and go home. So another email went around about meeting out front and saying a couple prayers before we left. And so some of us did bundle our stuff all together to go home, and met out there at 11:30, quarter to 12, whatever, and we stood in a circle outside the front door of our building, and we each said some sort of prayer or something. I started the Our Father. I never could finish it because I was crying so hard. And finally we dispersed, went to our cars. I went to my car and I thought, I was going to go to the grocery, pick up some fruit, little odds and ends. I guess I could go. So I went over to Cub Foods on my way home. And the whole time I was in that store, I'm thinking, why am I buying food? I could be dead in 30 minutes. I could be dead in 4 hours. I'm buying food? Okay, should I buy emergency food? Should I buy emergency water? What am I doing here? I ended up just buying the little things I had intended to anyway. And checking out and going home, where I could watch the footage all afternoon while I got on my computer, searched for some sort of answers. I watched all afternoon, and I watched all evening, because you never knew when there'd be more news. Then they shut down the planes. They shut down the air traffic. And I went out on my back porch, and see, I live on flight path here, south of Chicago. There's a heavy-duty flight path in my area, and I looked up. Like I had during the prayer service, I looked up to a sky that was so blue, and so gorgeous. There were no planes. It seemed bizarre. There were no planes. And, yeah, I watched that all that day. I should have turned it off. I should have turned it off, but I didn't. And I got on the computer and saw even more of it. About a week later, a few days later, I don't remember, we had a huge, big plastic banner that we could sign and sign our good wishes to all the first responders and prayers for everyone there in New York. I don't know if we sent anything to Washington or Pennsylvania. I know we did to New York. And we had a memorial service, and we had speakers and bagpipe and singing. I was one of the singers. Darwin and Mike and I sang our national anthem. And I held on. I held on through the whole thing. I did a good job. I held on through the whole thing. Now we have a little memorial plaque in front of the building, and I was going to go out there today. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I hate this day now. It stands for everything that's wrong. Everything that's wrong with our country, everything that's wrong with us. I hate this day. And it's been used as an excuse for everything from airplane shoe removal to a war in Iraq. So we lost 3,000 that day, and we've lost over 3,000 of our own troops since. And we've lost thousands of Iraqi lives since. And our own troops, yes, but other countries' troops that are fighting with us, yes. We've lost them in Iraq and Afghanistan. We've lost and lost and lost. We've lost freedoms. We've had rights taken away from us without any ratification of the Constitution. They've just been stripped from us. Where was I? I started off in my living room, in the other house I used to live in. I'm still feeling like this 7 years later. Since there's been a lot of suffering since that morning, that bright, shiny, beautiful blue morning. It was the same way here too, you see. It was bright and shiny and beautiful that day here too. This is the same as November 22nd, 1963 for me. That's the day I lost my innocence about this government and this country. That's the day Kennedy was shot. And so this day will always be like that too. Well, if you stuck around for this long, thank you for listening. You take care out there.